Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie LaBonte, and I'm an intuitive coach, artist, and Feng Shui consultant. And I am here to help you, beloved souls, create meaningful and abundant lives. And today I wanted to come to you to talk about the topic of Feng Shui. Hopefully, you saw my last video talking about minimalism and just what that has done for my life. Again, I mentioned two documentaries that I've watched. The first one is actually minimalism. That was the one that really got us going 5 years ago. Me and my husband, we went on a huge kick. And then most recently, the minimalist. They put out a new documentary called Less Is Now, which kind of like fueled me. I was like, oh, I need to talk about this and how it transformed my life. But then when I reflected more, I was like, oh, there's like actually quite a few pieces that transformed just my overall happiness and enjoyment of life. And like I said, I'm here to help others like achieve the same. And so the first video we talked about how our stuff is not the be all and end all of things. As Americans, we um I feel like we have a tendency to use stuff as like a benchmark of success. And really, what is success, right? um but rather it also puts happiness, like it places conditions on happiness, and it moves happiness to the future. I will be happy when I have the new car. I will finally be happy when I have the new house. I will finally be happy, once I get that promotion at work, because then I'll be making the right level of money. So our relationship with stuff is a little bit complicated, but minimalism can help simplify that. Well, now I wanted to talk about Feng Shui because, as I mentioned, I'm a Feng Shui consultant. And funny enough, when I work with my clients, I do have them go through a decluttering process first and foremost, because you can't invite in new, just like uplifting, thriving, bountiful energy without releasing the stagnation and the things that are telling an old story, because that's another aspect to our things, right? They they reflect us, and same thing with our homes are a reflection of us. And I always talk about like the infinity symbol, like you affect your home affects you. It's an ebb and a flow. And it's same thing when it comes to our stuff. You affect your home affects you, you affect your stuff affects you. Same thing with our earth. We affect our earth, the earth affects us. It's a very interconnected relationship. So with feng shui, I'm going to talk about how this actually kind of came into my life about 3 to 4 years ago. And it was really interesting how it came into my life. It really was like a divine message. No joke, I had been drawing this symbol, like just doodling in my notebook for like 6 months. And then I just kind of had like this message come through of, like, you're meant to help people shift their relationship to space, to energy, to our things, to the earth and to spirit, like all of that, because it's all interconnected, right? So, and then I happened to find where the symbol, like, it was originating from, and it actually originated with feng shui. It was actually the International Feng Shui Guild, and prompted me to go into feng shui. It was, like I said, a message from the divine, I swear. um, but with feng shui, what I particularly love about it is that it reminds us of what is most important in our lives. So in Feng Shui, there is what's called the Bagua Map. And the Bagua Map, and now I wish I brought it in here, but that's okay. I'll talk through it. The Bagua Map, essentially, it actualizes within our physical space the 9 important areas to having a thriving, bountiful, abundant life. So those 9 areas are: your career and life purpose, spirituality, knowledge and wisdom, family and community, wealth and abundance, fame and reputation, love and relationships, creativity and children, health, including mind, body, and spirit, and then lastly, helpful people and travel. So I want you to pause for a moment and really take that in. Think about how you're feeling in all of those areas of your life. Have you been attending to, say, your love and relationships? Have you been nurturing your overall health, including your mental, emotional, physical health? Have you been nurturing your spirituality, like whatever your spirituality is? Have you been nurturing that aspect? So think about all of the 9 areas that I mentioned. And for me, like that's what Feng Shui really is all about. It's creating this new relationship with our homes and recognizing how it can actually support us to be creating a more meaningful and fulfilling life. It helps us to understand how our spaces affect us and how we affect our spaces. The things that we bring into our homes all have an energetic frequency and impacts us in one form or another. So in the last video, I actually talked about how decor and artwork is really, really impactful, like super impactful for what you have in your space and being very intentional with what you bring in. Again, I think a lot of us, and I've been guilty of this before, we have a tendency to want to fill and expand space. But it's okay to have room to breathe. Can you imagine like what it would feel like if your room was literally just like all the things were there? You would feel like you have like no space to be. So think about what items, like what decor items are within your home. What is the artwork in your space like telling? What's the story it's telling? What is the energy tied to it? Like, what do you feel when you look at certain artwork? And I always tell my clients too, where when you go through the decluttering phase, I would rather you not have any artwork on your wall for a while and let it be until you find that perfect piece that encapsulates the energy you're trying to have for that particular room or for your home in general. So, because like I've done this myself where, I've gone to, just some regular home store, craft store, found a picture that was like, oh, okay, that looks pretty good. Brought it home and it's like, this doesn't mean anything to me. This doesn't evoke any particular energy. Like it's kind of there and so think about that. And then the other aspect too I want to note with Feng Shui, so it's about helping energy to meander through your space. So there's this balance between yin and yang energy. So yin is that feminine, receptive, introspective energy. And then yang is that masculine, active energy. And this is always such an important distinction. And I feel like this is something that we're needing to heal within our collective right now. We have a tendency to label this is good and this is bad. But yin and yang, they just are. And they actually are needed because like when you look at the yin and yang symbol, they balance each other perfectly. So you need a little bit of yin energy within your home so that you can rest and that you can go within, like in your bedroom should be kind of like a yin sanctuary for you so you can just relax, recharge, and rejuvenate from the day. And then, of course, you need to have energy move through your home too. You know, like maybe like a water fountain in your entryway, like that really just signifies like energy, a graceful, peaceful energy like moving through your home. I love water fountains and entryways. It's like, oh my God, we actually just redid ours, and I'm like over the moon. I can't wait till we get uh our water fountain. We're waiting until we paint. Um, but anywho, it's that dance, it's that balance between the two. I liken yin and yang to also, like, let's say you're just like, I don't need my left leg and I'm not gonna walk on it. Well, that's just silly. And you need both, right? If you have both, use both. And same thing with divine masculine, divine feminine energy. You need both. It's we all encapsulate that energy. I have divine masculine energy within myself that helps me to do the things in my life. And then a divine feminine energy helps me to be compassionate, to look at the world in different lenses, and to have empathy and hold space for other people. So, Feng Shui, it really truly has helped me to transform my relationship with myself, with my home. I know it's helped many of my clients do the same. And the funny thing is, and this happened to me and it's happened to my clients too, where all of a sudden they've had opportunities like out of nowhere, like pop up, like job opportunities where it's like, where the heck did this come from? And I'm actually going to share one quick story. I'm always trying to keep these under 15 minutes about the power of feng shui, but I also want to preface this that there's more to it. Like I said, it's a building block. It all kind of comes together. But like, so before I could take my feng shui course that I wanted to take and become certified in being a feng shui practitioner, my husband and I, we weren't actually really in a great financial spot. And I actually then realized that our bathroom, our downstairs bathroom, was in our wealth and abundance gua. And I thought, I'm like, how interesting that we chose a home that had a bathroom here. And I've had to do a lot of healing work in my relationship with money and prosperity and poverty consciousness. So like I said, there's that piece that I've had to work on. And of course, then we also had to kind of reframe our financial picture, our relationship to money, how we were using it. And again, that's where minimalism kind of comes into play, because then we weren't spending money on things that just didn't matter. And so, what I ended up doing in this space, once I realized it was tied to wealth and abundance, I there was like a couple changes that I made. One of them was like tying a red ribbon around the drain of my sink and my toilet to signify like I'm not allowing money to drain away from us any longer. And then adding like some plants to the space, some crystals. And again, you don't have to like do those things. You should only ever add to your space that like for things that make you truly happy. Those are things that truly made me happy. But what was funny was then 2 weeks later, my husband got a job offer for a much better paying job. And I think that was around the time where I also had gotten a promotion at work too. So I just share that. And there were other things, other steps that you have to take in the physical world, right? Like, interviewing and giving yourself the tools and skill set, developing yourself, and all the things are interconnected. But I'm really happy that I have this newfound relationship with my space and how it can actually help me, how it can be a tool to living an abundant and fulfilling life. So keep that in your mind and really start thinking, have you been working with your home, with your space to fuel and change your life? Or have you not been? Have you been neglecting it? And so this is a really good opportunity to make that shift. And of course, I'm here to help you in any way that I possibly can. You can visit natalielabonte.com. In the next video, we'll be talking about mindset. So take care, everyone. Bye.